Hey there, retro gamers. David here, the Game Over CEO, with another exciting episode of Game Overcast. Thank you for joining us, and sorry again about missing last week. I was out of town visiting family, and this time of year, it's always a little difficult to get work done, family stuff done. So yeah, I'm in the same boat, struggling to get it all taken care of. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This is Thanksgiving week. You're probably watching the show on or around Thanksgiving Day, which means also Black Friday weekend. So a real exciting time for all of us in the world of retail. And by exciting, I mean crazy as hell, but exciting. So it's fun. It's insane. But this is what it's all about, right? This is our Super Bowl this weekend in the world of retail. Yes, Black Friday weekend. It is upon us, everyone. Sorry I missed the show last week, but glad to be back. So this episode, we're going to talk about the Black Friday sales at Game Over Videogames. There's some good ones, and they start on Thanksgiving Day, so stay tuned for that. Also, we'll do part 2 of the feature segment on the Super NES rebuild. So how we're going to turn this lovely item into an actual working Super Nintendo again by replacing the shell. We'll have part 2 of that. And that'll be coming up soon. So, I think that's everything. So, again, just like Halloween, no Thanksgiving decorations, not much advanced planning. I haven't even shaved my, cheeks, neck, head, whatever. But I'm tired, but I am ready. And so let's get this going. Let's go to level 1, current events. And we're back with level 1, the current events. A lot of stuff going on. Since we didn't report anything last week, I've got 2 weeks worth of news to bring you. You may or may not have heard this on your internet searches and social media, but here's the rundown. The Guinness World Record was set for 2022 for the world's biggest controller. It's an Atari joystick that's 9 feet tall, 14 times the original size. Still works. Takes several people to operate, like 2 to move the joystick back and forth and 1 to jump up and down on the button. And pretty cool. Created by Dartmouth College professor Mary Flanagan. So shout out to Mary Flanagan. You are officially the most badass professor in college history. Congrats. Also coming up, Atari's 50th anniversary is next year. Not sure if you realize this, but Atari was founded in 1972. So coming up next year in 2022, that'll be their 50th anniversary as a company. It's come a long way, from nothing in the beginning to, not nothing now, but it's very small now compared to what it was at one point. But what an amazing journey. I mean, a business that's still going 50 years later is amazing. Something so iconic and memorable that, oh, hello, light wobbling. No danger here, folks. I'm probably going to be okay. Probably. There's 90% chance it's not going to fall on me. But yeah, so really cool. Their anniversary is next year. So keep that in mind, all you Atari fans. It's such an iconic brand. They're actually, they were supposed to license it out to do like hotels in Vegas and stuff and make Atari themed like resorts, where obviously video games would be a big function of it. There's the new Atari console that's like an all digital console that's out. And so they also sell merch, of course, like Atari t-shirts and stuff. So the company's still out there. It's not what it was, but it's pretty cool. And what are they doing now in addition to that? They've actually started releasing first-party games again for Atari, for 2600. So I know there've been homebrews and, whether it's bootleg or legal or, just kind of homebrew, games they've been making for older consoles, including Atari, for years. But this is the first time Atari first-party 2600 games have been made in a long time. And so they're releasing 3 games soon, which will be Yar's Return, a sequel to one of the games I love on Atari, Yar's Revenge. Also a game called Saboteur and Aqua Venture. So all three of those games are going to be $49 each, $149 with a special edition, including a pin and additional manual and paperwork and lots of cool stuff in the box. There's only 1983 of them being made since the games, the originals came out in 1983, so that's pretty cool. And they'll all be shipping in 2022. So you can pre-order those now at AtariXP.com. That's their new label for their first-party games that they're going to put out. And anytime you buy one of the cartridges, it not only works on the original Atari 2600 consoles, but it comes with a digital code that'll work on the new Atari digital console. So you get it, on both systems. So that's pretty cool, and sounds awesome that Atari's getting back into that. A little bit of controversy came up though because the Yar's Revenge in particular, being a creation of Howard Scott Warshaw, this sequel is kind of advertised as like one of his games, but he actually came out saying it's not his game. Like he didn't create the sequel to it. He's working on a sequel now, and that's awesome. So we're going to see that hopefully soon. But he actually took to social media after this announcement from Atari to say, like he created Saboteur, but the Aquaventure and the Yar's Return games were not his. And I think the Atari, promotional emails they sent out kind of made it seem like, this legendary Atari designer created these games, and really it's just he created one of the games that the new game is based on, but he didn't create that new game. So anyway, but he's an awesome guy, and so he posted that to AtariAge.com just to kind of clarify the record. So if you want to read the full story, you can check that out on AtariAge.com. But anyway, interesting stuff with Atari. So back in the news. Let's see. Oh, and also I forgot to mention Howard Scott Warshaw has a book out called Once Upon Atari, and you can get that or get information and excerpts from it at onceuponatari.com. So shout out to his website. Go check it out. Howard's a really cool guy. I met him at Classic Game Fest a few years back, and we hope to have him out again in the future. And he's just a really, really good guy. So definitely check him out. In other news, the Sega Genesis is getting some more new games as well. Retrobit, who's been putting out a lot of the new cool like third-party games for classic consoles lately, they are back at it, and they're releasing Gary's. Actually, I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Is that right, Dan? Do you know how to say Gary's? G-A-I-A-R-E-S. Gary's? Gary's?
Is it a game?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a shooter from Genesis. Do you remember that game?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
You're
Well,
on your own.
well, I'm going to say Gary's, but it may not be. That may be just two guys named Gary standing together. That's a Gary's, but I don't know what the actual Gary's shooter game is, but or how to pronounce it. I know what it is. I've seen it. It's an awesome game, and it's a side-scroller shooter from Genesis. They're re-releasing it. So shout out to Retrobit, because they're not only re-releasing the game, which is a cool game, and it's always fun for me to see classic consoles get new games published. But they're doing it up right. I mean, Retrobit really does some cool stuff. So shout out retrobit.com. But yeah, so the game's going to be $54.99. Let's see, it's coming out, I think, early next year. Yeah, you can like pre-order it now, but it's coming out sometime early next year. But for $54.99, you're going to get the game, case, manual, certificate, an interview with a guy named Jamie Bunker, who was one of the original game testers for the company. I think it was Renovation back in the day. But he's the guy that's like, there was a poster that came out in every video game magazine of him going like, okay, and for you listening to the podcast audio version, it's me just like smiling and pointing at number one finger, and it says like Gary's number one on it. And that same guy that got him to do another poster looks the exact same, but just him, older. And so you can actually get like a t-shirt and get an interview with that guy also included with this game pack. So pretty cool set, really, for $54.99. So that's cool. That's coming up. And I can also tell you that Game Over Videogames should have that game when it launches. So we are part of that pre-order, so we'll have that. You can't do the pre-orders in our stores because we don't really do that, but I can let you know that our stores should have it as soon as it's available, because we are set to get some. In other news, also the Mario Brothers movie, Super Mario Brothers movie coming out next year. We've talked about that earlier in the show with Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Anna... Joy, what's her name? I forget. I don't know, but it's got this huge cast, right? But the main kind of conflict online was casting Chris Pratt as Mario. And, because he's not Italian and everybody wants to hear, the old like Charles Martinet, it's me, I'm Mario, type of voice. And apparently now, I guess people can rest easy that Chris Pratt has said like he's not doing the voice. So he's not doing it. He's going to do it his own way. He's got some kind of unique voice that he's going to do for the character. And he said all they'll do is make some kind of mention, some kind of like reference to the Italian style or phrasing and the classic type voice from Mario in the new movie. But it's not going to be the whole movie with Chris Pratt trying to sound like, it's me, Mario, I'm making a pizza and fixing the pipes. It's not going to be like that. Which, who knows? That could have been awesome, but but he's not going to do that. He's going to put his own take on it. So whether you think that's good or bad, I don't know. Let us know. Comment on the podcast. Let us know what you think. I think it's going to be okay. I mean, I really think that, when you give Hollywood a lot of money and to do a project and they get a lot of like A-list actors, I really feel like most times it delivers. So it may not please everyone, especially the hardcore, Nintendo fans. But I'm optimistic, just like, Lego Movie and, even Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I don't think people have really thought Chris Pratt, that's the guy to make this thing awesome a lot. But everything he does turns out kind of awesome. So I don't know how, but he just turns stuff into awesome stuff. So hopefully he'll do that with Super Mario. But anyway, that's coming out December next year in 2022. So we can all look forward to that. And that's all I've got in global gaming and retro gaming news. So now let's break it down at the local level to your local Game Over Video Games store and what we're doing for Black Friday. And that's coming up in level 2. So let's move on to level 2. And we're back. Level 2. Today is a very exciting day because I get to tell you all about the Black Friday sales information for Game Over Video Games. Every year we try and have some of our best sales of the entire year for Black Friday, and we're really excited because the past few years with the COVID shutdown, we've had to kind of go easy on Black Friday, and we've done like month-long specials and but no real like doorbuster type big sales for Black Friday. But this year we're bringing it back, yo. So this year for Black Friday, here's the full rundown of sales at Game Over Video Games. First of all, Thursday, Thanksgiving, we are closed. Our retail stores are closed. So all our employees have the day off with their families. But for customers that want to shop, our website is open. So for 24 hours all day, starting at midnight, Thanksgiving morning, going to midnight Thanksgiving night, the entire Game Over Video Games website is 25% off. And that includes everything. The good games, the bad games, the accessories, the hardware, the cool swag. Every single thing you find on GameOverVideoGames.com is 25% off. So that's awesome while it lasts, because it will run out of a lot of things pretty quickly. So get there soon. But the code to use for the discount is Thanks Game Over. Thanks Game Over. Isn't that a nice code? So yeah, thanks Game Over. Put that in at checkout, and boom, you get 25% off anything at GameOverVideoGames.com on Thanksgiving Day only. So let's say you're watching this podcast after that, or you are just eating and sleeping on Thanksgiving Day. So then we go into Black Friday. Black Friday, all of our retail stores are open at 9 a.m. That's a little earlier than normal, of course, and kind of early for gamers in general. But at least it's not 6 or 5 or something crazy. But for the first 2 hours from 9 to 11 a.m., we are doing the entire retail stores 30% off. That also includes everything: games, accessories, cool swag, and hardware and consoles. So basically anything in the stores except our consignment art, which is kind of a separate little section. And since that stuff's consignment, we can't adjust their pricing. But everything else in the stores 30% off for 2 hours only. So get there early Black Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at your local Game Over Video Game store. And that one is not available online. You just have to get to the store, get in line. It's like the old days of Black Friday. Get there early for best selection. So that's till 11 on Friday. Then from 11 o'clock Friday till 9 at night on Friday, it's going to be 20% off everything in the stores. That's games, hardware. I'm sorry, not hardware. Games, accessories, new and used, but not hardware and not consignment. But everything else, 20% off games and accessories on Friday. That also goes through the weekend. I didn't leave my notes correctly here, but yes. So that actually goes all the way from Friday at 11 through Monday. So the stores are actually open 9 to 9 on Friday, 9 to 9 on Saturday, 10 to 7 on Sunday, and then back to regular hours 11 to 8 on Monday. But all those days, starting at 11 on Friday through the whole rest of the weekend through Monday, it's 20% off in the stores, games and accessories, and that is also available online with the code Black Friday. So you can use that same code Black Friday all through the weekend for 20% off online at GameOverVideogames.com. And then on Monday itself, it's Cyber Monday. A lot of people that do visit family, travel, sleep, hang out and just enjoy themselves on Thanksgiving weekend and don't want to do the whole Black Friday thing. Cyber Monday has become a really big shopping day, especially for online sales. And GameOverVideogames.com is no different. So we're doing a 20% off everything on Monday also. The code for that one is Cyber Monday. So you enter Cyber Monday, anything for 24 hours on Monday. That is November 29th. That's going to be 20% off. So, and then after midnight on Monday, that's it for the Black Friday sales until next year. Then our next regular sale in the Game Over Video Game stores is going to be an Atari sale that starts Friday, December 3rd and goes through Thursday, December 9th. And that's going to be 30% off used games for Atari 2600. And you can use online code Atari30 to get that 30% off. But then that goes into our normal kind of, weekly sales process that we normally have during the year. So definitely get out this weekend for Black Friday. And we'll be promoting on social media, and you can, post and comment to this podcast or the Game Over social media channels and let us know what you got. Show us pictures. Are you buying stuff for you or gifts for family or friends? Send us a picture of you playing, the games and systems and stuff that you got from Game Over. You get cool swag, get a cool T-shirt or, cool stuff you want to show off. Share those pics with our social media pages. We'd love to see them. So anyway, that is it for the sales. Other events, we also have the Super Retro Challenge free retro gaming tournaments coming up in Game Over Video Game stores. So that is going to be on December the, I don't have it on here, December the 10th? No. Yeah. 11th, I believe. December 11th. The second Saturday of December. And that's free retro gaming tournaments at our main tournament stores, which is the store in South Austin on South Lamar, the store in Selma, Texas, which is just northeast of San Antonio, the Houston store on 1960, the Arlington store in the Dallas area, and then our store in Bellevue, Washington. So all 5 of those stores will be doing free tournaments on that second Saturday in December. So see their Facebook pages for specifics on what game and what time to get there and stuff like that. But free, fun, and you can meet up with some local gamers in the area, so you can't go wrong with the free tournaments at Game Over. Another update for events, Classic Game Fest. So Classic Game Fest 2022, which will be the 15th anniversary of Classic Game Fest, is already in very fast-growing pace. Tickets are on sale already. We've been selling a ton of them online. There's a Black Friday special that'll go through November 30th next week, where if you enter the code Black Friday, you save $10 off the 2 VIP ticket options. So we're already selling tickets for that. Vendor, artist, and guest booths are also going fast. We're up to almost 50 booths already taken and booked, paid, signed for next summer. So it's going to be a fantastic event. I mean, it is literally the biggest retro gaming event of any kind in Texas. And, we're happy to be a part of it and happy to, provide the staff to help it run and function every year. But it takes all of you too. So we want you to buy tickets. We want you to attend. If you, either work for a store that buys and sells video games or video game stuff and collectibles, get a vendor booth there. You really should. You're missing out if you're not. And then for fans, definitely buy tickets and come out. It's a way to entertain the family for a weekend next summer and enjoy gaming together. It's always a fun time, great family environment. So definitely put a plug out there for CGF. And anything you can do to help us share that event on social media is great. We always do our best to get the word out as much as possible, but anytime you can post it to your social media channels, tag it, share it, comment on event links and mentions of Classic Game Fest, we really appreciate it. And that definitely helps the event to grow and get bigger and better every year. That's it for the local and Game Over and Classic Game Fest news segment of the show. So now we're going to go on to level 3, which is our feature segment. And as you remember from last time, we actually started the Super Nintendo refurb project of taking this busted up Super Nintendo, taking it apart, making sure it works, and then we're going to reassemble it into a better looking shell, a little better looking than this, and see if we can get it going again. So now we're going to go on to the feature segment and see the exciting conclusion of the Super Nintendo rebuild project. So let's do that now. And we are back. Look what I found. Ooh, that's pretty. Looks a lot better than that, doesn't it? Not just the color, but also obviously it has a front end. Hey, just like it's supposed to. All right, now this is one that was defective. It says here it needs a new fuse or something, so I don't know how to do that, but I can take it apart and steal this shell because this is nice. So I'm gonna take this thing apart. Get my little bit adapter here. This feels like it's not catching. That sucks. Yeah, I mean I took that one apart.
To be fair, that one was pretty much taken apart already.
That's true. All right, let me just try a different one. It's always so tricky with these bits. Like, I don't know why they can't just use normal screws. Why is that? Do you know why they use bits instead of normal screws? If you have any thoughts on that, comment on the podcast. What the heck? There's no screw in that one. Did somebody take this apart? Somebody took it apart already. Well, I guess that'll make my job easier. Somebody was messing with it. And so, yeah, I guess the way they found out the fuse was blown is they took it apart to look at it. And it's only held together by this screw in this corner. I bet somebody tried to take it apart and got to this last screw, and then they couldn't get it out too, and that's why it's still got the one screw on there.
Go grab the other one real quick.
Hold on 1 minute, I'll be right back. And we're back. So now I have found a relatively nice looking Super Nintendo unit, defective one from our returns pile, and this one, yeah, it looks good on all sides. It's even got a better color than that one. It hasn't had some of that kind of typical Nintendo yellowing of the plastic. And so I'm going to take this one apart and see if we can just do a little swapsy. This is really a clean one. It's always a shame to see these some of the classic systems come in and when they don't work, and it's more than just whatever a simple cleaning or some rubbing alcohol can do. But it's a shame when they're in such good condition, but something on the internals, fried. A lot of times people actually store these things in their garage. They sit at when they're at your parents' house and they're just kind of out there with the Christmas decorations or whatever in the shed or the garage, and they may not be outdoors, but they do get exposed to a lot more elements than they would if they were inside. And so sometimes that moisture just gets inside. And moisture and electronics do not go together. All right. I have you now. Yeah. So, so here is the top off. So that's good. I think it's pretty safe to say we're not going to need anything in that one. Maybe we'll need that piece. So let's put this for a little side-by-side comparison there. And then in here, we've got some screws from this one. All right, so the internals here. So we just want to do what we did on the other one, and we're going to unscrew everything here. Oops. All right, so I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can and just unscrew everything here. I'm sure it'll go back together fine. I'm sure. I mean, how could somebody with my incredible technical skills mess it up, really? Don't ask me what any of this stuff does in here, other than the fact that it's a board, or this one says sound chip. There's not really much that I know that I can tell you on that. So, we are getting to the end, I think. A lot of screws holding this thing together. There we go. Okay. I think that's it. Is that everything?
Guy through on the bottom corner.
Hmm?
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Right there.
Yeah. There it is. That was screw number 6 from the beginning. Okay. So now, I think we are all set. We're going to take this little eject button out, so that kind of holds it in there. All right. Eject, you eject button. Boom. All right, and that just sits in there. That's nice. Okay. So there are our broken parts. So we got the broken shell. We're going to put the broken parts. I'll put them over here by the broken shell. And then, oh, I also see now where those little brackets go. There's apparently 2.
Leave them in there.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to leave them in there. But the other brackets on the other one that we didn't know what they went to, they actually go one here and one here. So if you're taking this apart at home, and if you are using this video to be a guide for how to do this or how not to do this, like just watch this and then don't do it this way, that's where those went. So you got 6 screws on the bottom. You got 2 of them are in these little bracket thingies. Those go there. And then let's see if we can reassemble this together, and I'll talk everybody through it. So maybe this will be the part that you can actually reference back, because now that I've done it, maybe I will have more knowledge. Okay, so we got bottom shell. Okay, then the plate went in, right? So our little two bracket thingies are in right here and here. Okay, and this was like this. Actually, you can see the expansion port here towards the back, and then this little hole goes over the expansion port. So we'll put that in there. All right, cool. Then I think we take this, right? This is our working Super Nintendo board. We're gonna set it in there and put that in the front. And that just kind of sits right in there, and it's amazing how well it fits in when you actually have a front end to the unit. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Yella. All right, so we don't need that anymore. All right, so now we've got all this, and really all we need is the eject button and all the screws then, right? So let's start trying to screw this thing in. Now, if I remember right, this part, the soundboard chip thingy here, the 2 screws in either corner were the darker, shorter ones, like the brown screws, the bronze colored. I guess you just have to keep track of this as you go a little better, because they do have 2 different types of screws. They have shorter ones and longer ones. But it looks like the little ones will just not work in the hole if it's meant for the larger screw. There is this thing called the internet, and you could probably Google and probably watch, again, a million YouTube videos besides this one that actually would show you how to correctly do this. But
It was fun to watch you try.
was it fun to watch me anyway? I hope it was. I hope it was fun. It was fun for me. I mean, I like to think I'm pretty handy, but I'm not a technician and somebody that would like feel comfortable modding a system or anything. But if I can handle this, you can handle this too. Okay, so power switch is on. That part is all in. I'm missing 1 screw over there. I'm always a screw short.
As long as you don't have a screw loose.
Screw loose is worse. Now I'm going to tell you like I know what I'm talking about, because through trial and error, But so now we've got the bottom half of a Super Nintendo. And so, this is the front of the system, so I'm going to tip it this way. And in this front part, there's the bronze, kind of darker screws that are shorter and smaller. They go here, here, here. The 2 on the power switch, and then the 1 that's underneath the power switch that you have to do that one first and then put the power switch on top of it. So those are all the darker, shorter screws. And then back here on the sound chip, the darker screws go in these 2 opposite corners. Okay, so that's all the bronzy, shorter screws. Then the longer silver ones, it looks like those are right by the cartridge port, right here and here, these 2 places. And then, did I use any other ones? No, I guess just those 2. And then you can kind of see, there's some holes here that you can see on this side, but they they come through to the other side where you're going to be screwing in the the special screws. What are those called? I forget.
Game bit.
Like hex, yeah, they're like the game bit type screws. The ones where you have to have that little screwdriver attachment thing. Because you have 6 of those on the bottom. You've got 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then 2 kind of about 2/3 the way to the back. But if you look from the bottom, you can actually see those holes where they come through. Right here for those 2, here for the middle 2, and here for the back 2. So that's where those go. So yeah, so we have I think, a correctly assembled bottom half of a Super Nintendo. All right, so now comes the eject part. So let me see if I can put this back together the right way. But yeah, if you see like these wires, they're getting caught on the spring, and it just holds it a little bit too low. So what I'm going to try and do is put the wires on the outside. So like the wires run around this outside of this holder for the eject button, and that'll make it easier to put this in, and also hopefully prevent that just the height of the wire gap that was causing that to not quite work the right way.
Use the one that came with it because it's
cleaner. Oh, that's true. This is cleaner. So now I have the nicer of the 2 eject buttons, the spring. Gonna put that in there, and now without those wires in the way, it should be very easy to get this into where it needs to go. Put the top part in, and then the spring just pops in the little hole on the bottom. And that goes in that side. Yeah, that should be right. Hey, look, nice and flush, just the way it should be. Yeah, it's amazing that makes such a difference. But yeah, just having these little wires in the way caused it to just not quite close the right way. So cool. Okay, so I should have just kept that on there. All right, so now we are all set, and we are ready for the final assembly. And we just need to put in the final 6 game bit screws on the bottom. And I want to do all these screws, in snug, but don't over tighten them, because it is just plastic after all, and you know what happens to plastic, right? And then I think, barring any other major issues, this should be a very nice, clean, and working Super Nintendo. So let's hook it up. Let's put our friend Block back in there. Blop goes Block. Oh, I did turn it off. Hey. That's a pretty good feeling, being able to fix something.
You got that awesome Block theme song for you.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty cool. And now we have a working Super Nintendo to resell, and the lady that got this piece of crap got a new one at her house, so everybody's happy. And then we just have the broken shell with another broken insides, and that can just go to our recycling. But anyway, thank you for watching, and that concludes the feature section of the show. And now we'll move on to let me get my notes here. We've got a boss battle coming up, and so let's go to level 4. And we're back with level 4, the boss battles. I hope you enjoyed the Super Nintendo rebuild project too. Pretty amazing, right? I'm not too shabby for a for a guy that's never done anything technical like that. Anyway, so boss battle this week. Making and spending money is hard to do. So I'm sure you're all aware that there are shortages of products everywhere right now. It's not limited to just factory goods and electronics and things like that. It's pretty much every part of the U.S. economy is suffering in some way from shortages of products. Things are stuck in ports, they're stuck on trucks, stuck in warehouses, not getting where they need to go. There's labor shortages. It's pretty across the board, and so right now it's hard to spend money sometimes. Which sounds strange, but it is. There's shipping delays in the ports in California. I'm sure you've seen pictures of the boats where they're just like circling in the water, waiting to dock. And then on the dock, you've got huge stacks of shipping containers, and they're just miles long. And then those are waiting for trucks, and there aren't enough trucks and drivers, and it's really crazy. But yeah, so it's hard to spend money right now because people don't have the stuff. They can't get the stuff. Even at the banks, anybody who's in the world of retail and service type jobs where you have to go like make deposits at the bank or go to get change for your register at the bank. Banks literally, they have the most limited hours and limited staffs they've ever had. They're totally closed some days, or at least good chunks of some days. And then if you do get in and you get to talk to somebody, you're like, hey, I need, for my register, I need, so many rolls of quarters and rolls of pennies and whatever. A lot of times they limit you now. Like you can't get coins at all, or you're limited to like 1 or 2 rolls. And for a register, especially going into Black Friday and Christmas season and stuff, you need more than a roll of quarters to get your register through. So it's pretty crazy. And when even the banks don't have money, that's weird. So yeah, there's that. Then you've got labor shortages. So people have a lot of times left the retail employment workforce. Retail and service jobs have, record numbers of open positions that are unfilled right now because a lot of people have either left that line of work because of COVID or left it for like lifestyle changes, better pay, better hours. Retail's never the most glamorous work, right? But some of us love to do it. We definitely all need people to do it to run these stores and restaurants and businesses. But yeah, it's harder than ever to find good people these days. And then, yeah, the reasons, like I mentioned earlier, COVID, the higher wages, workers wanting to work from home, and certain jobs like restaurants and, retailers, you can't really, they don't really transfer to a work from home job. You have to be in the business, in the building to sell the stuff there. So it's just a really tough time right now. And so, at Game Over, obviously, we do our best to treat employees well, to pay as well as we can, but at the end of the day, it's retail work. You're never going to get rich working retail. We all know that. Same with me. But, it is what it is. You do it because you enjoy it, and you don't do it necessarily for the money. But we do try and treat people well. We have a lot of long-term employees that are really great. And, so the turnover issues aren't as bad at Game Over, but I know out there in the world, I've been to, banks and stores and restaurants and, just about any place you can think of, even going to the airport. Like there's less shuttle bus drivers, getting you to and from your car at the airport and stuff. There's shortages everywhere. So it's really a remarkable time that we're living in here. And it's funny that, for seeing this happening, and this has been going on for months now, and so the best advice, I guess, is to plan ahead, right? Instead of buying all your stuff for Christmas in November, you try and buy little bits throughout the year so that you're constantly stocking up, and if any one thing gets delayed or back ordered, that you can have other items to kind of replace it. And but with everything going on this year, just for Game Over, I can tell you that we've ordered stuff in the summer, even in the spring, that is in some cases just now showing up. And then some of the things we've ordered, recently, we're still waiting on. So, it's definitely strange. But my recommendation, I guess, on making it easier to, make and spend money as a business is to try and do it in little chunks. To purchase small amounts every month and use multiple suppliers. And that way, if anything gets delayed or a certain vendor can't come through, then you have something else to kind of fill those gaps. And so it's a constant stream of merchandise coming in that if any one shipment gets delayed, it won't throw off your whole business. So that's a good recommendation for any of you in the business world. And then just in general for consumers going out into the world shopping for Christmas presents. You're going to find a lot of stores with lighter shelves than normal. The gifts that you want to get may not be there. And so that's just something that you need to be prepared for. So go in with not just a list of what everybody wants, but a list of what they want, like as their number one choice. Maybe have some backup ideas in mind. Always remember there are gift cards available too. So if there's a certain, video game or a certain product of any kind that somebody wants for Christmas and you can't find it, you might just have to do a gift card and hope they can get it after Christmas on their own. So that's always an option, and most places do gift cards now, so that's definitely available. Shop early if you can. I know it's Black Friday now, so that's kind of hard to do at this point. Everybody's going to be shopping in the next 30 days, but the earlier the better. Let's see. Also, advice for making and spending money is, this is more for business owners, but also consumers too. That you want to have a rainy day fund. You want to set money aside because sometimes, like if you're buying products for a store right now for Christmas, and you may have money and you want stuff, but you can't find somebody that has the stuff to take your money, and so. Sometimes that's difficult. And then there might be times when you don't have enough money coming in, but you have stuff available to buy and you need to get it then while it's available. So it's always a good idea, even in the personal world, to have 3 to 6 months of expenses set aside in savings. It's something that, my dad used to tell me growing up, like always keep, a rainy day fund. And I have, and I've always done that. And it's served me well. And there have definitely been times in my personal and work lives where if it had not been for that rainy day fund, that I would have either been like, totally out of money and on the streets or something personally, or as a business, that Game Over would have been out of business because, thank goodness we had, that little pool of cash sitting there as a rainy day fund that when the times got rough that we, could tap into that. So always have a rainy day fund. Let's see, plan ahead, shop early, hire, train, and treat your employees well. We try to do that as best we can at Game Over. I definitely recommend other businesses do the same because it's hard to find good people. And if you don't treat them right, they're going to leave. And, you need people to operate. So you've got to, reach out and encourage, good hiring practices, good training practices, and treat your employees as well as you can. And all that comes down to also living beneath your means. So people say live within your means, like, don't spend more money than you make. I prefer to say live beneath your means. So if you make X number of dollars a year in your household or in your business, you want to spend not that amount. You definitely don't want to spend more than that amount. You don't want to spend that amount. You want to spend less than that. You live below that means. So there's always a little bit of extra cushion there for, just bumped the microphone. But you always want a little extra cushion there for emergencies. So living beneath your means is the way to go. Making and spending money. All of that is to say that was the boss battle for this week. Sometimes it sounds really easy, making money, and it certainly sounds easy spending money. Like, wow. That can't possibly be difficult, but it is. It is right now because sometimes you're throwing money at that computer screen saying, why won't you take my money? And the site is saying, we're out of stock, or it's delayed, or it's back ordered. And, and the money just bounces off the monitor. They don't want it. So definitely keep all those tips in mind as you go forward in the world. And let's go on to the next part of the show. Let's go on to the bonus level now with some fan feedback. We have a lot of great comments from the last couple of weeks, and so I'm going to go into all those next. And we're back with the final part of the show, the bonus level, the fan feedback, my favorite part, the part that actually proves that somebody out there does watch this show. So thank you, person or people that watch this show. And to all of you that listen on podcast services too. I think a lot of times we forget that, it's recorded in video, it's posted to YouTube and stuff, but it is essentially a podcast. So there are people that listen to just the audio portions of the show. And so shout out to them as well. And thank you for dealing with the show, the times when we do, physical or visual things that you probably just wonder why there's that gap in talking on the show. But anyway, so fan feedback, a lot of comments from the past few weeks. And so I want to, give you a rundown of some of the stuff that we picked up from the social media pages, from YouTube, and, any other place that we found comments. Let's see. First of all, I got a suggestion with the SNES project saying that I should get inside and sign the Super Nintendo and put a like a note in there like, hey, this was fixed by David from Game Overcast and Game Over Videogames. I didn't do that. I could do that. It's really a great idea. I wish I had thought of that or known that when I had it all taken apart, and I could have done that. But maybe next time. The next time I do a rebuild video, I'll definitely put a little either physical or at least kind of a written note of an Easter egg inside of it for the next person to own that product. But anyway, so great idea there. Comments about the video, really liking our podcast, and so that's great. We got to play this game, at least a little bit, Plock, during this whole Super Nintendo rebuild project, and several comments about Plock. So I guess everybody loves Plock. So maybe someday we'll do a Let's Play of Plock and get some more of that on the show. Got one comment that said he did not like the podcast, but says the Houston store we have near downtown Houston is awesome. So, well, I don't really agree with the don't like the show comment. It's great that you love our Houston store, so definitely keep going there, keep shopping with them, and we appreciate your business and support and everything. But I asked him, to say what it is he doesn't like about the show, but I didn't hear back yet. So if you want to be specific, I'm always open to constructive criticism. So let me know. But sorry, in some way I let you down on the show. Let's see. Also, a note to keep the inventory coming. I don't know I think we've mentioned this on the show a couple of times with, trade-ins and how that process works in the stores. It's, obviously most of the things in our stores, we can't really order, or even just buy from, collectors or whatever. It's, we get daily trade-ins from you, from the average gamers and former gamers and parents and relatives and spouses of gamers that are selling their stuff. It comes into every single one of our retail locations every day, all day, but it's totally random. And so, you might get, just, commons and nothing really exciting for days. And then you get a huge rare trade-in with all kinds of gems in it. And then sometimes you might have a day where you get just rare game after rare game after rare game. And then they all might sell within a day or two. And so, it's really hit or miss. And so, in terms of inventory, I always tell people, like, we'll never have every single game and system in stock every single day at every single store. Impossible. But we do see almost every single game and every single system in every single store. It's just a matter of timing. And so, the thing that I would recommend is when you're shopping for classic games, whether it's Game Over Videogames, which I hope you go to, or other stores, you just have to keep checking back. Call us, check our online store, visit the other Game Over stores in town. And, just be persistent about it. And eventually we'll have that rare stuff. But yeah, you have to keep checking back. The inventory comes in nonstop. And you can ask any of our employees. It comes in nonstop. It's pretty crazy. So inventory is always coming. Let's see. Do we shift it around from store to store? Sometimes. We don't do that a lot. But sometimes we'll have a store that has, a huge trade or just an overflow of product. And we have to, distribute some to another location. But mostly each store kind of gets and sells their own trades. So again, you just have to check all the locations to find the stuff you're looking for. Got some comments. Let's see. Bummer about the missed podcast. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. We just started and to already have, after episode 7, that we had to skip a week. Sorry. Life gets in the way sometimes. It's busy, running this company and doing, the other multiple jobs that I have and, trying to fit family, time and issues in there too. So occasionally there might be a time like that where I'd have to miss a week of the podcast. And I'm sorry, for that last week and for in advance of the future times that might happen. But I always do my best. And I do enjoy doing the show. I'm getting more comfortable with the show. And so just kind of like life, things are occasionally going to happen. And, so thanks for understanding that and just, sticking with me. And, I'll be back and I'll make it up to you. So let's see. Other comments. Somebody said they were cleaning up an NES for a family friend to enjoy over the Thanksgiving holiday. So that's awesome. You are the best friend ever, because if you're just for a friend, like refurbing, like what we've done here, refurbing an NES to make it work and make them have some family enjoyment over the Thanksgiving weekend, that's really cool. So you're awesome. And let's see. And I think that's about it, actually. But yeah, overall, really, really good comments. And so really appreciate that. Feel free to, post, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show. Give me details. Let me know. I can't fix what I don't know is broke. But yeah, no, definitely give me the feedback. Really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening on the podcast services. Thanks for subscribing and all that good social media stuff. So I hope you all have or had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday, time with family, got lots of sleep and shopping and just relaxing done, because I think we all need that. This past year or two, I think we've all at times been really burned out, definitely me included. And so hopefully we're all getting some kind of break there and then we can get back to more of a normal kind of existence, after Thanksgiving and before the Christmas craziness heats up. So anyway, hope you all have a great week. Thanks for watching and listening and subscribing and all that stuff. You can email me at podcast@gameovervideogames.com, or just comment on the feeds, and I'll talk about your questions and comments on the next show. So I look forward to seeing you all next week, and thanks for everything and all of your support. Game over. This is a rough week, man.
It has been, man. It's been a rough week.
I mean, I know Thanksgiving is hard, and everybody in retail and service jobs, like it's a tough week.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a grind. It's like you struggle to prepare, and then you struggle to like keep up all weekend, and it's just crazy. And then you add in the normal family and Thanksgiving and all that kind of stuff, and it's crazy. So shout out to all of my fellow retail workers, service workers, restaurant workers, because you guys are working your asses off this week, and I know I am with you, and I know how it is. I've always been in retail and service jobs pretty much my whole life, and it's a rough life, and so yeah, shout out. Just stay strong. We're almost there. We're halfway, right? So once we get through the Black Friday weekend, then it's back to kind of normal business.
Ish.